So here is the heavy bolter that you saw me painting, and when it looked like it was like a pretty wet and heavy coat, you can see here through the properties of the acrylic paint that it does shrink. And the last couple of videos I had recorded with the paint, I commented before that acrylic paint does shrink. So I mean, you'll learn about how thick of a coat you can put on based on how it will shrink. But you can see here that this guy has turned out pretty decent. I need to do one more coat of paint on him, and then he should be about right. Nope, out of focus here. What I had a problem with the airbrush is I really haven't figured it out yet. I've been trying my darndest to get Liquitex Paint to work, but I just really have not been getting a good results for it as far as for airbrush. You can see here though, as painting with it comes out just fine. I know how to adjust the paint and mix the paint for painting it by a brush, but how to reduce it down for airbrushing, I haven't quite worked that out yet. My problems that I'm experiencing is that the paint will flow for a little bit, but then after a while it won't flow anymore, and then it requires me to spray a bunch of water through it. Once I spray a bunch of water through it, it seems to flow pretty good. Eventually what I'm doing was reducing down the mix I was using, and once I reduced it down with my water floy mix, it started to flow through pretty good. But the problem was that it was reduced down too much, that it wasn't really, it was way too translucent. I mean, it wasn't even no pigment was really covering the model. It was more of just the reduction of the it was more of just the reduction that was coming out. So I stopped at that point. But I got my first original mix that I used for the airbrush before reducing it, and I just killed the model. And the original mix paints just fine by brush, but I had to correct what I had did for the airbrush in order to use the rest of the paint for painting. What I had to correct was because since I had reduced it down so much, I was afraid that the bonding of the resin was affected by the reduction. So I added a little bit more of the Liquitex Prism Violet is what I'm using here, and so I added some of that and stirred it thoroughly, and that was working okay, but then it still felt a little on the soft side, so I went ahead and added some matte medium to it to strengthen the bonding. But you can see here, I mean, because from like the first video or from the recording when I was doing this, he looked like he was really wet and heavy, like everything was kind of filled in. But you can see right now, as it's drying, like I said before, the acrylic will shrink. So but yeah, still gotta experiment with Liquitex, the airbrush, try to find out what it is I can do. I think maybe it might be partly my air compressor. I think I need a higher PSI for the siphon feed. That or it just kind of piddles out after a use. I don't know, but still got to work on it. But seems like brushing the base paint is just as effective. I'm gonna let these guys dry. Those guys are still a little wet. These guys here are drying, and you can kind of see that there's still some moisture on them. Probably not. The camera doesn't pick it up as well as the eye. Oh, there you go. You can see some glimmering where it's still wet. But yeah, I'm gonna cut it here. I'm gonna sit down for a while, take a break, maybe edit this video, and come back and paint some more guys by brush. It's going a lot faster than trying to do it by airbrush, but I won't give up on trying to figure out how to get the Liquitex to work. I might have to use maybe tubes, not tubes, but Liquitex heavy body paint, because it will have a higher pigment. But the problem is that where this is about $4 for this tube here, the Liquitex heavy body tubes, which are they're like smaller, are about 17 to 20 bucks a tube. I mean, even these are roughly anywhere from $9 up too for the soft body. Alright, I'm gonna cut it here and edit this and upload it. Thanks for watching.